The President of the Republic, Paul Biya, has been invited to take part in activities marking 60 years of independence in Africa. These activities will take place in Congo, Brazzaville in the month of October. Baccalaureate 2020 general examination results are out, and statistics reveal that there has been a considerable drop in the success rate this year. Public administration experts have picked out several aspects as stumbling blocks to an efficient public administration in Cameroon. One of them is poorly defined objectives. Live from Studio 5 in the CRTV Production Center in Balatu, Yaoundé, I am Benen Bumagana. Welcome to the 7:30 News.
Each of us must comply with the measures that have been taken.
The President of the Republic, Paul Biya, has been invited to take part in celebrations marking 60 years of independence in Africa. These celebrations will take place in Congo, Brazzaville in the month of October 2020. The invitation was handed to the President today during an audience he granted to an envoy of the Congolese President, Denis Sassou Nguesso. Chief Unity Palace correspondent Ashu Nyenti reports.
The Unity Palace this Saturday, 12 September 2020 looks serene. An unusual day for presidential audiences though. The leaves on trees wave in the wind as the sun smiles at everyone. It is in this tranquil and calm atmosphere that comes a special envoy sent by the President of the Republic of Congo, Denis Sassou Nguesso. The envoy, Congolese Minister of Foreign Affairs, Cooperation and Congolese living abroad, Jean-Claude Gakasso, is received with full honors before being led to his ultimate destination.
Son Excellence Jean-Claude Gakasso, ministre congolais des Affaires étrangères.
For close to 1 hour, President Paul Biya, the Congolese government official, discussed issues of mutual concern between both countries. We also learned that Congo will be organizing by the end of October this year an international symposium on 60 years of the independence of African countries and the 80th anniversary of the contribution of Central Africa to the victory of the Allies during the Second World War. An important rendezvous needing the presence of President Paul Biya to deliver a message to African youth.
Nous avons apporté une invitation, précisément une invitation à son Excellence.
We are bearer of an invitation to President Biya, which he pleasantly received.
Et nous espérons, vous savez, les chefs d'État ont des agendas très.
As you know, heads of state have busy schedules. We hope President Biya will be in Brazzaville,
parce que sa parole est très attendue,
where his word is highly awaited as a wise man of Africa and the library of our sub-region.
Très attendu à cette occasion-là.
It is with the sentiment of having accomplished his task that the Congolese message bearer takes a leave of Unity Palace and subsequently Cameroon.
The success rate of the 2020 baccalaureate examinations stands at 47.22%, down from 60.5% recorded in 2019. Out of the 117,007 candidates who sat the exams in the country, 55,248 succeeded. Ewane Pole now presents the general statistics of the 2020 baccalaureate results.
4 regions recorded a higher percentage than the national pass rate. The Northwest region ranks first with a success rate of 59.22%, followed by the Littoral with 54.91%, the Southwest comes third with 51.34%, and the West fourth with 50.97%. Meanwhile, the Far North region is last position with 27.82%.
The success rate as compared to last year has decreased. We've nevertheless registered 47.22%.
The drop in the success rate this year, education officials say, is not as a result of the coronavirus pandemic, but other factors.
For us, it's a normal situation. For several years now, we've been registering fluctuating results. You know, in 2017, for example, we recorded a success rate of 46%. There was no COVID by that time.
Out of the 117,007 candidates who sat the examination, 55,248 succeeded.
And now that the results of Baccalaureate 2020 are out, successful candidates are now torn between preparing for a competitive entrance exams into one of the many higher professional schools or pursue academics in a university. The dilemma caught in this report by Romeo Kenya.
Tears of joy as 17-year-old Gregoire Thierry Toulou celebrates his baccalaureate results with family members. He looks forward to becoming a barrister at law.
I want to read law in the university.
Jean-Steve Mandeng wishes to become an engineer. He is among the 4 successful candidates in the household.
I am very happy about this result.
Getting into a professional institution after high school needs preparation. It is exactly what 17-year-old Cabral Tiosop and mates have started doing.
I always wanted to build cars, so that's why I did Polytech Yaoundé. I will do public works, fancy, I will do economic.
I'm preparing for public works, where I intend to do architecture.
While some successful candidates prepare for competitive entrance examinations, there are those who have opted to enroll into the university.
18 entrepreneurs, former graduates of the National Pilot Business Incubator in Vidéo, have received end-of-course certificates after a 3-day training on quality, hygiene, safety, and environmental protection. The ceremony was co-chaired by the Minister of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, Social Economy and Handicraft, Ashil Basilikeng III, and the Minister of Employment and Vocational Training, Issa Chiruma Bakari. Beatrice Ngum reports.
The 18 young entrepreneurs received a 3-day training within different enterprises on how to respect production standards in agro-industry, how to recycle waste from their production, as well as how to carry out environmental studies. The 18 are laureates of the last batch of graduates from the National Pilot Business Incubator.
We felt that it was necessary to ensure that they receive some additional training to ensure that they are able now to provide to the consumers goods and services that meet the minimum requirements in terms of quality, in terms of being environmentally friendly.
The Minister of Employment and Vocational Training and the Minister of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises have asked them to be job creators and not seekers because they've been given the entrepreneurial potential to succeed. Funded by the C2D MINFOP, this MINFOP-MINMESA agreement seeks to promote public-private partnership in a bid to curb unemployment.
Now let's talk about how to make public administration in Cameroon very efficient. Experts have maintained that for the Cameroon public administration to attain performance, the quality of human resources and the respect for ethics are the key principles. Emmanuel Avemnu spoke to some experts and now reports.
For the Cameroon public administration to fully wear a human face in the way it functions, experts are loud on the need to upgrade the capacity of human resources and reinforce the respect of ethics.
The quality of the human resources, and the second is the behavioral pattern. The quality of human resource calls for 2 principles: the technical competence, emotional and social competence.
Having the ability to solve internal conflicts, being able to promote team spirit, and motivating personnel have also been presented as tools towards better output.
We need officials who master their leadership roles, officials who can promote teamwork among staff and solve conflicts when they arise.
Yet the place of research and governance in public administration seems interwoven, especially as administrative decisions are expected to reflect the needs of the users.
Simplifying the procedure, dematerialization, the image of the public service or the performance of the public service. It should be a national endeavor.
Experts in public administration think the performance of every structure is a shared responsibility where users and decision makers work for a common goal.
And still talking about efficiency in public administration, experts say the respect of defined objectives, adapting goals to circumstances, and sufficient incentives are the needed measures to improve on output. Cynthia Saptala spoke to some experts on how to improve management in most administrations in Cameroon. Let's follow her report.
Based on management experts, public administration performances are efficient when all beneficiaries are given full access to its services without much cost and in time. To attain these objectives, they say addressing issues that act as obstacles, such as the discrepancies between goals and the resources available, are important.
First of all, we have the impression that there is a problem with the kind of objectives fixed by the administration when the population barely knows what to expect and civil servants in charge of implementing do not know the exact goals to attain. It's difficult.
Outlining simple, measurable, achievable goals within a time frame coupled with the continuous facilitation of procedures can improve on the outcome.
What can be done? Increase the computerization of our public services. When you look at the personnel, there needs something to be done. Capacity building, ethics, and deontology.
With the decentralization process ongoing, some experts add that reviewing the evaluation system to include beneficiaries may equally be necessary in attaining a more productive public service output.
Northwest Governor Adolphe Lafrique says the region, that is the Northwest region, is dear to the country, and so the authorities cannot allow it to be torn apart by people he describes as hoodlums. Mr. Lafrique, who addressed a security meeting in Bamenda Thursday, also declared that the special operation that began in the town would spread across the Northwest so that the people can effectively resume with normal activities. Winston Lebga reports.
Governor Adolphe Lafrique talked about stepping up security measures so that civil servants would fled their duty posts on account of the terror, resume work, promising sanctions to those who continue to observe the Monday Ghost Town operation.
We call on the population to be calm, to take side with public authorities by providing the necessary collaboration to administrative authorities, defense and security services. The
governor recommended the creation of vigilante groups while telling reporters that the Northwest is ready for the December 6 elections.
The treasurer are committed, the municipal councillors, elections Cameroon is ready. The security services are securing the region to allow us, come 6th of December, organize those elections in a peaceful environment.
Adolphe Lafrique says it is time for the Northwest to make giant steps towards peace and development. The City Mayor Paul Achobong also informed the security meeting of a plan to get commuter buses that will transport people to and from parts of the city area where bikes have their limits.
A consignment of smuggled products have been seized and destroyed by officials of the Central Regional Delegation for Livestock, Fisheries and Animal Industries. The illegal items were burnt Thursday under the supervision of the Central Regional Delegate, Dr. George Vent. Ate Bonaventure reports.
This is the final destination of the more than 200 tons of illicit frozen chicken and pork seized by livestock officials in the Yaoundé 1 municipality.
These are fraudulent products that are introduced into Cameroon through our neighboring countries and were sold out in the markets where they were seized and they are now destroyed.
The clampdown is a result of multiple control missions organized by the Central Regional Delegation for Livestock, Fisheries and Animal Industries.
The ministry and the administrative authorities are there to ensure that these bad products are not consumed by the population of the Central region.
The move seeks to guarantee consumer protection and respect of norms regarding of animal and fishery products.
Let's go over to Douala. The routine Thursday cleanup campaign in the city is now an integral activity taken up by sub-divisional councils of the city. The initiative, introduced by Littoral Governor Samuel Dieudonné Vaha-Dibua, has become more intense with the cleaning of waterways after the recent floods that hit the economic capital. Alphonse Abongwa-Achu reports.
The drainage canals of Douala 3 still suffocate with plastic bottles transported by the floods of August 21. It is not a good example, says the governor. He checks through the rivers of Bobongo Petit Paris, still in Douala 3, and recommends more implication of the population, who are more of spectators than participants in the routine Thursday campaign. In Douala 2, Mayor Denise Fampu and her team have gone an extra mile. The results are gutters void of plastic and other waste that can permit water to flow with relative ease. The governor says he preaches by example. That is why show the people what is supposed to be done. Douala 1 then welcomes the inspection team. The drainage canal that meanders through the Beseke ceremonial ground is being emptied of slush and mud. The governor and his team equally visited Bonaberi in the Douala 4 subdivision and Douala 5 council area to intensify the message.
Douala will become a very beautiful city in the days ahead. Still in Douala, the newly appointed board chair of the Procurement Agency for Essential Medicines and Medical Consumables has expressed gratitude to the head of state, Paul Biya, for once more thinking about women. Mrs. Marie-Melanie Bell was speaking to the CRTV shortly after her appointment as board chair for Sename. Rene Kache reports.
Marie-Melanie Bell is a household name in the country's human health and social care sector. She has spent 15 years through her NGO Centre Okide Home, advocating for the commitment of government and other stakeholders in the fight against autism in Cameroon. Her actions and commitment to human health and social care have been rewarded by the President of the Republic, Paul Biya.
I wish to heartily thank the head of state for choosing my modest person. My gratitude for this appointment also goes to God Almighty.
Appointed Friday as board chair of the Procurement Agency for Essential Medicines and Medical Consumables, Sename, Mrs. Marie-Melanie Bell says her battle against autism and other mental health diseases continues.
The fight against autism continues. I'm not alone. I'm with the First Lady, Madame Chantal Biya, who has always supported me.
Before her appointment, Mrs. Marie-Melanie Bell was formerly one of the alternate senators for the Littoral.
The treatment protocol against COVID-19 set up by the Metropolitan Archbishop of Douala, Samuel Kleda, can now be used to treat other pathologies and even be exported to countries where the pandemic is still wreaking havoc. During a press briefing in Douala, Samuel Kleda revealed that he is in control with laboratories for large-scale production. Veronica Benyala tells us more.
In the opening statement of that press briefing, Archbishop Samuel Kleda pointed out that from March to September 2020, some 9,071 people were relieved of COVID-19 infection thanks to the 2 treatment protocols he developed. The interest of some pharmaceutical companies in working on the improvement of these herbal medication opens up new perspectives for the 2 products, ATSA COVID and Exili COVID. The latest development in the interest shown through the medication set up by Bishop Samuel Kleda as part of the fight against the coronavirus can now be used to treat other pathologies and even export to countries where the pandemic is still wreaking havoc. The Archbishop attributes his success in this endeavor to his faith and his science, doubled with the efforts of the government to provide a most vigorous response to the coronavirus pandemic.
The wearing of face masks in public places will be mandatory until further notice.
Let's talk now about our fight against COVID-19 this evening. And Baldwin Sama takes you to appreciate the drop in the number of persons who visit hospitals to test for COVID-19 and the number of patients in the different treatment centers in Bafoussam and in the entire West region. Public experts say the population is responding positively to the ongoing massive testing in that part of the country. Let's meet Baldwin Sama in a video chat with his guest, Dr. Chimwa Dauda, Regional Delegate of Public Health in the Emergency Health Unit Operation Center. Baldwin Sama.
Well, good evening to you, Benin Bumagana, and welcome. A few months back, the West region of Cameroon was ranked on position number 3, talking about the region severely affected with the spread of COVID-19. What is the situation so far in that region? Our guest tonight is the West Regional Delegate of Public Health, Dr. Chimwa Dauda. Mr. Regional Delegate, good evening.
Good evening.
Explain to us what's the situation so far in the West region, talking about the number of patients in the hospitals and the different treatment centers.
The decentralization of activities of reports in all the health districts in the region, the treatment center have increased from 2 to around 40. And with the implementation of 3T strategy, that means track, test, and treat, the patients are treated early, and it makes that we don't have the number of symptomatic and complicated cases have decreased seriously, and made that the bed occupation ratio is low now. We pass now from 80% during the peak to around 0 to 12% in regional hospital now for bed occupation rate. That means too low, we don't have enough patients again. But for non-COVID patients, you know, the stigmatization of hospital made that gradually patients are coming back in the hospitals.
Finally, Doctor, what's the situation? The different persons, the populations, are they adhering to this massive cause for rapid test, massive screening for COVID-19 in that region?
With the TT strategy, we have implemented the massive test campaign in all districts. We receive from central level enough quantity of rapid diagnostic tests, materials, drugs, even money to implement that activity. It means that in all the districts now, we are doing the campaign in villages, we've been fixed strategy or mobile, even temporary strategy. So now we are testing massively the population, but the thing to know is that the positive cases are too low. Now the positivity rates go from 11% during the peak to around 0.1% now. That's the situation now in the region. What we have to know is that, nevertheless, all these things, all the population are not testing themselves. That's why we ask them to go to the seat for testing and test themselves to know their status, and then to continue following all the measures, hygienic measures, and barrier measures, to make that COVID will not come back in the region now again, no more.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chimwa Dauda, the Regional Delegate for Public Health in the West region of Cameroon. That's the situation in that part of the country, Benin Bumagana. We continue our tour of the different regions this Sunday as we take you to the East region of Cameroon. Back to you, Benin.
Thank you very much, Baldwin Sama from Cayman. This time, 51 deserving Cameroonians in the South region have received various medals as part of recognition of their loyal service rendered to the nation. The medal award ceremony took place Friday in Bolova, chaired by South Governor Felix Ngelengele. Clarence Aze of CRTV South reports.
The brief ceremony at the CONGO ceremonial ground saw the award of different categories of medals ranging from the National Order of Valor, the Cameroon Order of Merit, the Order of Agricultural Merit, the Order of Sports Merit, and the Merit of the Forces of Law and Order to 51 Cameroonians from all walks of life. The medals awarded each year during the National Day, which was not celebrated this year due to the COVID-19 pandemic, have been conferred to persons who have distinguished themselves through services rendered to the nation.
I take it like an achievement, but it's also an appeal to do better.
I feel so happy and thankful to the head of state for raising me to this rank of Grand Officer.
I thank all my colleagues, my family. I'm thanking the head of state.
The happy recipients, who were decorated by South Governor Felix Ngelengele and the Senior Divisional Officer Fordham Villa, have promised to continue serving the nation with devotion.
Congratulations to the recipients. Our book of the week today is titled Stir It Up, The Smile in You by Sami Oke Akombe. The book is a collection of poems on the upbringing of children and other ways of making confident and competitive in the society. Natasha Lehman with a review of the 70-page book.
Stir It Up, The Smile in You is a collection of poems which the author, Sami Akombe, says bridges a huge gap in child upbringing. It undermines the once popular adage, a child is only to be seen and not heard, which has made many of them docile and withdrawn both at home and in school. The collection is written in the language used by children to make them aware of the importance of celebrating who they are, how they are, where they are, exemplified in the poem Celebrate on page 8. In the book, children are encouraged to stir up the virtues in them in order to make their world a better place, as emphasized on the poem that carries the title of the collection. Another element in Sami Akombe's book is the nurturing of patriotic awareness in young minds, which he says is useful for a country like Cameroon. Sami Oke Akombe is not only a writer, he is a practicing teacher. He teaches business English at the University of Central Africa, Yaoundé.
CRTV's Sports and Entertainment channel has started broadcasting live matches of the English Premier League. The opening match today pitting Fulham against Arsenal ended 3-0 for Arsenal. The acquisition of rights to broadcast the matches is part of the corporation's drive to bring more global competitions to Cameroonians. Highlights of today's broadcast with you, Daniel Ekonde.
It's been days of work for the CRTV management, obtaining rights to broadcast the world's most watched football league. And on the D-Day, the result is here. Fulham versus Arsenal, screened on the national broadcaster.
I feel so happy as a football fan to watch English Premier League over the CRTV channel. It brings to mind a very nostalgic feeling that you are watching the firework competition from your own channel at CRTV. So,
to spice the show, former players of the English Premier League and the Indomitable Lions are brought on the platform to analyze the games. Prominent are ex-Manchester City defender Lucien Motomo and former Lions keeper Vincent Oganzi. The CRTV is bent on showing the games until the end of the season.
Better days ahead. It is with that report that we come to the end of the 7:30 edition of the news today. Another edition of the news is coming up at 8:30 with Atta Badin Omar. I'll be back here tomorrow Sunday at 7:30 for what is making news in Cameroon and out of Cameroon. Good night.
In this connection, we should avoid stigmatizing
CRTV News, ici, toute l'info.